Episode 2 of House of the Dragon is less about who wins the war and more about what the war is taking from everyone involved. While the previous episode ended with the shocking death of Jace, this chapter focuses on the aftermath of that loss. It explores how grief changes people, how power often comes with impossible choices, and how even long-awaited victories can feel hollow. Episode 2 picks up immediately after Jace's death, and the first several minutes are dedicated almost entirely to Rhaenyra's grief. Instead of rushing into the political consequences, the episode forces us to sit with the emotional cost of the war. Rhaenyra doesn't simply cry over her son's body. She cycles through denial, anger, guilt, and acceptance almost all at once. She asks Jace what he's done, as though he's simply made a mistake that can still be fixed. When reality finally sinks in, she lashes out at everyone around her before collapsing back into her son's arms. This scene is important because it shows that Rhaenyra is no longer fighting for an abstract claim to the throne. Every battle is now personal. Jace's death is another reminder that every victory comes with a price, and although Team Black technically won at the Gullet, the episode makes it clear that nobody truly walks away victorious from this war. One of the biggest surprises in the episode is how calm Daemon is when he returns to Dragonstone. Earlier seasons often showed him reacting with anger or impatience, but here he recognizes that Rhaenyra doesn't need another commander telling her what to do. She needs someone who understands what she has lost. His decision to speak High Valyrian is especially meaningful. Throughout the series, characters often switch to their ancestral language during moments of deep honesty or intimacy. Rather than speaking as a prince or military leader, Daemon speaks as her husband and as another member of House Targaryen who understands the burden they both carry. He reminds her of Viserys' prophecy and asks what she would do if it were true, encouraging her to keep moving forward instead of allowing grief to consume her. While Daemon has returned to Dragonstone, it's Mysaria who seems to have Rhaenyra's trust. Their brief interactions reveal a shift in the balance of power within the Queen's inner circle. Mysaria reminds Daemon that not everything revolves around him, and later she's the one who returns Rhaenyra's crown before the journey to King's Landing. The crown itself carries symbolic meaning. Earlier in the episode, Rhaenyra is overwhelmed by grief and barely able to function as queen. When Mysaria places the crown back in her hands, it represents Rhaenyra accepting her responsibility once again. The crown is no longer simply a symbol of power. It has become a burden that she can't put down, no matter how much she may want to. The reunion between Corlys, Addam, and Alyn is one of the episode's quieter moments, but it carries significant emotional weight. After years of refusing to publicly acknowledge them, Corlys finally offers them his family name. It's something they should have received long ago, but the timing makes sense. Like many characters in House of the Dragon, Corlys has been forced to confront how fragile life really is. Nearly dying during the Battle of the Gullet changes his priorities. Legacy is no longer about ships, castles, or political influence. It's about family. By accepting Addam and Alyn as his sons, Corlys begins repairing mistakes that ambition prevented him from addressing sooner. After accidentally causing chaos during the Battle of the Gullet, Rhaena returns to the Vale filled with guilt. She openly admits that she has done something terrible and asks Lady Jane Eyre for help. Rather than hiding from her mistakes, Rhaena accepts responsibility for them, which immediately separates her from many other characters in the series. However, Lady Eyre refuses to protect her. Instead, Rhaena offers something far more valuable than an apology: a dragon. This scene reinforces how dragons have become the ultimate political currency in Westeros. Every alliance, promise, and negotiation eventually comes back to who controls these creatures. Even when Rhaena is seeking forgiveness, the only thing that truly changes the conversation is the military value that Sheepstealer provides. Alicent spends the episode desperately trying to make her agreement with Rhaenyra work before everything falls apart. She convinces the Gold Cloaks not to attack approaching dragons and persuades Helena to leave the city with her. Unlike many leaders in this story, Alicent is no longer trying to win the war. She's simply trying to stop more people from dying. The assault by Lord Jasper is one of the episode's most disturbing scenes, but it also reinforces one of the show's recurring themes. Even as Queen Dowager, Alicent remains vulnerable within a system controlled by powerful men. The scene strips away the illusion that her title automatically protects her. Despite all her influence, her safety still depends on whether other men choose to intervene, highlighting how fragile power can really be. Aemond arrives at Harrenhal expecting another glorious confrontation with Daemon. Instead, he finds an almost peaceful castle where nobody is interested in fighting him. Rather than walking away, he chooses violence anyway, murdering Simon Strong and everyone else in the room simply because he can. This moment perfectly summarizes Aemond's character. He constantly talks about strength, but much of his violence comes from frustration rather than necessity. He wants to prove himself, and when Daemon isn't there to fight, he creates another enemy instead. His death at the hands of someone he barely notices feels fitting. Throughout the series, Aemond has believed that dragons and skill make him untouchable. In the end, his arrogance blinds him to the dangers standing right behind him. Interestingly, Alicent once again refuses to interfere. Just as she warned Daemon in the previous episode, she seems less interested in changing fate than watching it unfold. Whether she possesses magical abilities or simply understands people better than anyone else, Alicent continues to function almost like fate itself, quietly allowing events to happen exactly as they should. Rhaenyra's arrival in King's Landing is surprisingly quiet. Instead of a massive battle, most of the city's defenders surrender without resistance. This is important because it shows that wars aren't won only through military strength. Alicent's secret preparations, the loyalty of the Gold Cloaks, and the growing exhaustion within King's Landing all matter just as much as dragons. Daemon's role during these scenes is also interesting. While Rhaenyra focuses on reclaiming the throne, Daemon eliminates anyone who continues resisting. Together, they represent two different forms of leadership. Rhaenyra wants legitimacy, while Daemon believes fear is often the fastest path to stability. The emotional centerpiece of the episode arrives when Otto Hightower is brought before Rhaenyra. Daemon immediately encourages her to execute him, arguing that a queen can't appear weak before her followers. Otto understands exactly what's happening and almost welcomes death, realizing that he has become a symbol rather than simply a prisoner. Rhaenyra ultimately kills him, but the scene is deliberately uncomfortable. Her first strike fails, forcing her to finish the execution with another blow. The episode refuses to present this as a triumphant victory because Rhaenyra herself gains no satisfaction from it. Instead, the execution becomes another reminder that ruling often requires actions that permanently change the person giving the order. After Otto's execution, Rhaenyra walks toward the Iron Throne through a floor covered in blood. This image is filled with symbolism. Throughout the series, characters have dreamed about sitting on the throne as though it represents success or fulfillment. When Rhaenyra finally reaches it, she literally walks through the consequences of the war that made her victory possible. The blood trailing behind her symbolizes the true cost of power. Every step toward the throne has required sacrifice, betrayal, and death. By the time she finally sits down, there is no celebration. She looks exhausted rather than victorious because the throne has cost her almost everything she loves. She has lost Luke, Jace, countless allies, and now carries the weight of executing Otto Hightower herself. The throne is finally hers, but it no longer represents the future she once imagined. The episode's final scene perfectly captures this idea when Alicent and Helaena are brought before the new queen. The war has completely reversed their positions. Rhaenyra now holds the power, while Alicent stands before her as a prisoner. Yet neither woman looks victorious. Both have sacrificed too much to enjoy the outcome. More than anything, Episode 2 explores the cost of achieving one's goals. Nearly every major character gets something they wanted. Corlys gains a family, Rhaenyra gains the throne, and Daemon finally fights beside his wife again. Yet none of these victories erase what they have lost along the way. The episode argues that power may be worth fighting for, but it's never free. By the time someone finally reaches the Iron Throne, they are rarely the same person who first dreamed of sitting on it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.